I always knew my grandmother was a witch, but I never understood who she was until I inherited her house. I was just 12 when they took me away from her. I remember only bits and pieces of that night. Blood and black feathers on the flagstones, flashing red and blue lights reflected in the swimming pool. The house itself, an old farmhouse stuffed with relics. I hadn't been there in decades. When Grandmother passed, she left it to a cousin who let it rot until her death. At that point, it passed to me. We signed the papers on a cold, rainy day in March as blustery winds laughed back the promise of spring. The lawyer's office is below street level. We must wind our way through a tangled maze of shops and booths to reach it. We sit with hot, steamy cups of tea as he explains everything. There are, he tells us, stipulations. The house can never be sold, but must be passed on to a female relative. This, of course, reminds me of Miriam, and the old pain rises through me again. Michael takes my hand knowingly. We do not look at each other for fear of seeing the ghost between us. I finger the gold chain around my neck, trace the outlines of my name. The lawyer hands me a set of keys and a thick manila envelope stuffed with papers. We leave the cramped office and slip back into the labyrinthine cobblestone streets. Greasy puddles reflect the lights from neon signs and trash can fires. We pull our jackets in closer, passing small crowded pubs and shops selling fried everything. We're both thrilled to get away from the colorless, crowded city, its frowning masses and towering steel monoliths. It's really grief and memories we're seeking escape from, but we frame it as needing a fresh start. We move in immediately. The house is nearly 200 years old, but like many buildings from its day, it has solid bones. The place is a time capsule, with its mix of mid-century furniture and antiques, its braided rugs, its peeling violet-gray paint. The garden, once carefully manicured, is now overgrown. The flagstones cracked and crumbling. The old swing still hangs from the twisted branches of the ancient oak my forebears carved their names into. There are angels everywhere. Angel paintings on the wall, angel-shaped crystals in the windows, angel wallpaper. Even the door knocker is a cherub. 2 angel statues frame the cast-iron bench that overlooks the pool, which is filled with tadpoles and fetid water. They're overgrown with moss, half covered in leaves. I'd forgotten them, but now they seem like old friends. As I trace my fingers over the intricate roses wrought into the iron bench, buried memories resurface in my mind. I sit on the bench between the lavender wisteria tree. Grandmère sits beside me, her gray hair pulled into a tight bun, pointing out pictures in a book. On her other side, Miriam clutches her favorite doll. That's a cherub, Grandmère says, and that's a seraphim. They don't really look like that. The cherubim have 4 faces and shiny hooves, and a rage that turns the wind red. The orphanium look like glowing wheels covered with eyes of fire, and the seraphim have 6 wings and ebony claws. They only appear in those forms because humans accept it. I look into the water. The reflection shows a man standing behind us. Do you see him? Grandmère asks. We nod. The being reflected in water now has 4 faces. In addition to his 2 human faces, he also bears the head of a lion and the head of an eagle. Who is he? Miriam demands. What is he? I ask. A demon? Even then, we know of such things. She has taught us carefully. Worse, she says, smiling. Her teeth are sharp and white. An angel. I frown. But I thought angels were good. She laughs. Good and evil are but matters of alliance with these beings. One of his slaughtered 175,000 Abyssinians. One of his killed the firstborn of every family. She turns her face to the sun. Yet he's protected our line. We're bound to him. You know what he wants of us. The being fades. We put hair and nails and newspaper clippings into a box with some herbs and a dead thing and pray for the apocalypse. With that, the floodgates burst open. Memories return, random and often unbidden. I uncovered mementos scattered across the unkempt garden, stored away in the garage, attic, and cellar. I flip through dozens of photo albums. Our ancestors stare at me from old yellowed photographs. There are boxes filled with obituary clippings, some 100 years old. One day I pull a loose brick out of the fireplace. Instinctively, I reach into the hidden space behind it and find a jar filled with what appears to be children's teeth and severed toes, bathed in what I suspect are bodily fluids. Michael, perfect as always, starts the renovations immediately. I let him have his way with most things, but I insist the library be left alone. It's packed with Grandmère's books. I find text after text on the occult, books on Enochian magic, manuscripts on Crowley and the Golden Dawn, a stack of man, myth, and magic magazines from the 70s, tome after tome about angels, a full set of Shakespeare's works, surrounded by old gardening magazines and recipe books. One cold, rainy morning, I find myself absently tracing the spines of books she used to read us. Snow White, Through the Looking Glass, Beauty and the Beast, The Mirror of Matsuyama, The Snow Queen. I realize suddenly that they all feature mirrors. That sparks another memory, Grandmere chatting into a pure black mirror. I know, or recall, exactly where to find it. I go to her bedroom and sit at the elaborately carved mahogany vanity, empty the drawer, remove the false bottom, and move it and reach in. My fingers touch something ice cold. I remember Grandmere holding the mirror out to me. There are worlds stacked upon worlds, she said. No beginning or end, just an endless hall of doors to walk through. Of the mirror itself, it's made from what I now know is obsidian, modeled after an Aztec relic. A strange rune, his sigil, covers the back, barely visible, black on black. It doesn't reflect light so much as trap and absorb it. I reach into the stand, which is carved with jaguars and runes. This is an homage to, I should have looked up how to pronounce this, Tezcatlipoca, Aztec god of the smoking mirror. We are not his, she said, but we must pay him respect. The glass darkens everything, reflecting a blurred, murky world. Scent of roses hangs in the air, mingled with metallic smell that I only later recognize as blood. The secret drawer also contains Grandmere's journals and our old grimoire. I flip through the grimoire first. Dried lavender and roses fall out from yellowed pages, crumbling to dust in my hand. There are spells and drawings and recipes, including, oddly, one for the blueberry pies Mira and I used to love. Her diaries were written in spidery text, rambling paragraphs about mirrors, the flowers, and spirits, and an ongoing war with aphids. I put the mirror on its stand and set it on the vanity before the larger built-in mirror. It catches the sunlight and shatters it, shines darkness into my thoughts. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch a glimpse of something moving within its shadows, but I cannot be sure. The dreams start that night. I think I'll stop there.
Okay.
Yay!